Good evening, Saturday, May 15th, 2022. Welcome to the Dog Show. Brian here to talk about dogs. Everything you want to know about dogs you can find on the Dog Show every Saturday evening, 6 o'clock. Tune in. We'll be here to help you through some of the most challenging issues faced by dogs. By owners of dogs, which is often a problem for dogs. But we'll get to that because we all realize that people are the problem, not the dogs. Some dogs are a problem, but we'll deal with that too. So this is a very comprehensive program you've tuned into because we have experience with the good, the bad, and the downright dangerous. So let's first talk about George. George the St. Bernard. He was my dog when I lived in Comox, BC, Canada, about 15 years ago, and I was at the beach having a nice walk with George, and once the walk was completed, it was time to go home, and I said, "George, in the car, please." I always thought good manners was a good thing. I don't think George cared, but he would typically do that. However, when George went to jump into the car, he had a fish in his mouth, a big, stinky, dead fish. And I thought to myself, what the fuzz? How do I deal with this? George, drop the fish. He wouldn't drop it. George, I yelled at him and said bad words to drop the fish. He wouldn't drop it. After about 3 or 4 minutes, I didn't know what to do. So I said, "Get in the car, George." He got in the car with the darn fish. It was stinky. We drove home. And that was pretty much the end of my very unhappy experience with George and the fish. So I thought, this can't happen again. I'm calling Christine. Christine of Canine Management, who knows what she's talking about, who knows how to deal with these strange events in life. So I call up Christine, I say, "Christine, dumb George, you wouldn't drop the fish. My car stinks. I have to get it cleaned. I'm very annoyed with George. What do I do?" Christine laughed. She said, "Brian, that was very easy. All you do is you put your thumb and your finger in his jowls and you pull back and he will open his mouth and drop the fish." "Oh, it's that easy? Yikes. My car wouldn't stink if I knew it was that easy. I should have called you before, but I didn't know George was going to pick up a fish." Next time I was with George and he had something in his mouth, not a fish, I tried Christine's technique and it was like magic. His mouth opened and he dropped the stick or whatever it was that was in his mouth. That was it. That was pretty much the end. George never had a fish again, so I didn't have to resort to this very simple method. But if you have a problem with your dog having something in its mouth you don't want in its mouth, you put your finger, your thumb in its jowls, you pull back, and it will drop whatever is in its mouth. That's our podcast for tonight. How to keep a dead salmon out of your car. Tune again in next Saturday for the Dog Show.